This is Twit.
We had a long argument on MacBreak Weekly about whether Apple had a blacklist. It seems pretty apparent to me that Apple has a blacklist.
Oh, they obviously have a black. What I didn't, Elgin's piece actually discussed.
Mike Elgin brought this up.
Yeah,
he never gave us any proof.
No, he's got zero proof at all. But we know there's one because you've been blacklisted. I've been blacklisted since the 80s.
Gizmodo's been blacklisted.
Right. But he did a lot of supposition when he wrote this piece, but it was very entertaining. But the thing that I thought was interesting, because you sense that everything he says is absolutely correct. But the one thing I really stuck out was once you're on the blacklist, you can't get off it.
Yeah, who are you going to call?
You just can't
Ghostbusters.
Get off. Blacklist remediator.
Sorry. You can't.
ReputationDefender.com.
You can't do it. Because I've been on the blacklist since.
What did you do to get on the blacklist?
I wrote, when Steve Jobs quit. Apple.
Get rid of him. God bless him.
No, I was worse than that. I was writing Inside Track and InfoWorld at the time, and it said Steve Jobs, good riddance.
Oh.
Yeah, that was it for me.
And what Jobs does is he says, well, someday I may get back at Apple, and at that point I will never again talk to John C. Dvorak.
You know, is it surprising that giant companies who are very interested in getting the very best coverage and PR shop for journalists and give them favors and steer away from journalists who they don't want to help?
It's fully in there.
And I'll tell you, Apple's not the only company that does it. Does Apple do some of that?
Yeah,
absolutely.
but here's the problem.
But so does Google, so does Microsoft.
Yes, but here's the problem. Apple promotes itself as this great, open, liberal, creative. All the creatives come here. You know, we're doing all this great design and all these things, and then this blacklist doesn't really fit in.
Kind of Nixonian, isn't it?
It's bullcrap because the blacklist is all Apple's about. All they care about is the blacklist. If you really think about it, why would the blacklist exist at all if this wasn't a focus? It is a focus, and a blacklist people for all kinds of things. That's the reason they never had porn on anything, because they essentially blacklisted it.
You know, the words you use.
It's a blacklist-oriented company.
I understand the individual words you use, and yet what you said makes no sense.
No, that's the point. It makes no sense to anybody.
Yeah. So
why
think what you're really saying.
Why does Apple have a blacklist in the first place? Unless they're focused on it.
I think what you're really saying is that Steve Jobs is a flawed human being, and one of the things that's very true about Steve is he held a grudge, and the corporate DNA that he passed along. And I think this could change under Tim Cook. Tim Cook does not seem like the kind of guy who
he seems exactly like
they are slowly changing things. I mean, let's be honest. Is Gizmodo going to get an advanced iPhone after the whole iPhone 5 shenanigans? Probably not. Although Gizmodo was quoted on stage at Apple's last event.
I thought that was interesting.
So, you know,
somebody screwed up. They probably got fired.
I don't think so. So
Gizmodo's not invited to that event.
Oh, that's
not
right.
invited.
Wait a minute.
PC World's been quoted there and not invited too.
That we have the #1 Apple apologist sitting at the table.
No.
Where?
Jason's not even close. There's John Gruber. There's much bigger guys than Jason.
Oh yeah, he's a second-tier apologist.
No. Well, I have been on and off of Apple's good list too, and you know, companies, you know. Here's this shock, and here's the problem I have with Mike's column on Cult of Mac is he makes it seem like he's shocked that there's gambling going on in this establishment. And let's be clear,
not surprising.
Big companies want good PR, and they don't always pick the people who are going to guarantee a good review, but it is a mix of people who they like, people who are going to give them good coverage, and people who reach an audience that they want to reach. And it's a combination of that. The Verge has been on and off the list. Macworld's been on and off the list. You know, it happens because it's PR. They're not doing this out of some sense of duty to the public. They're doing it to promote their products, and they're going to make their decisions. And that's Apple does. You know, that's why they're not saints. They're not. If the argument is Apple puts themselves out as this wonderful company that's just trying to help humanity, it's a profit-seeking big corporation.
That was part of the marketing.
That's who they are.